Tricky, for some reason, you're always a weakness.
Oh my.
Explain what's going on to me, please.
Okay, so the star actor in this movie is Bright O. So there was Dora and there was Watoni.
Okay.
Now I knew that Dora liked Bright O. I knew Watoni liked Bright O, and I knew that Bright O was just there in between, right? But the thing is, I didn't even know it got to the point where she went to actually kiss him. I just knew that she was fond of him, she liked him, type vibe. I knew Watoni, even if I just cough, she would like, yeah, so I knew that Watoni was really, really,
That's
really,
true,
really,
okay.
It's true now. It's true.
So this one was not cruise.
This one was not cruise, this one was real. Okay. This one was real. So I knew that Watoni was...
Because this murmuring, we used to murmur every time. Explain, because so much needs to be explained.
Coming into the house, I had no intention of going into any relationship. That's just it. Because when we walked into the house, they were actually bonded, girls and guys. That's not my thing. And so, I think Tolani Badge asked me, I told her, I have no interest in any girl in this house. And that's the truth. So when I saw Watoni coming, I don't have to chase her, I don't have to be rude to her. I need to talk to her. Do you understand? We gist and we talk about
So was she the first to come to you?
No, she wasn't the first to. I wasn't trying to use anybody. And also, let me make something clear, I'm not a bad. I have a dad, though he's late, but I'm not.
I apologize, sorry.
I can't insult anyone on live television or use any derogatory term. So, Watoni, Dorothy, I was in the middle of the whole thing, but I tried as much as possible to strike a balance. So I don't have to hurt either Watoni or Dorothy. In the house, they were asking me, okay, what do you think? Where is this thing going to? Do you understand? I was like, just calm down. Yeah, just calm down. Be calming down. I saw it. I saw it online.
Lord, baby.
Do you understand? Yeah, of course. So I don't need to be push you away or start giving you attitude, saying what has been going on. It doesn't make sense.
I watch my kids do all their stuff with whoever. It's fun to watch. But anyway, so the Oracle game. When I think someone dares him to kiss Watoni, right?
Okay.
I don't think he wanted to do it. I think she wanted to do it. He didn't want to do it. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Right, so I kind of knew anyway that he wasn't really feeling her. As a friend, yeah, they're great. But Bryce being Bryce, Bryce is there minding his business, doing this thing, being the calm, collected person he is, strategizing. That's just who he is. So I kind of knew he didn't like neither of them.
Where did you notice Dorothy come into the picture?
I swear I didn't say coming.
So, Watoni, everybody has sort of confirmed. That's why I didn't want to come to you first, because you've talked about cruise a lot. That this definitely was not cruise. It didn't look like it. What was it for you?
Yes, I'm surprised Prince and I had a lot of conversations about different people. And then, Bright, there was one Saturday. You want me to laugh at?
Even if you don't say no. No, chill. That was just that was the vibe I got.
So I'm actually sorry that you thought I should have put into consideration that she said DJ, toilet. I didn't know about that. I'm surprised that.
You wanted to say something, Katrina? Okay.
I'm actually sorry though.
So I stayed in the house for just 2 weeks and I watched my fabs outside the house.
Hey God.
I never saw Dorothy and Prince being an item ever in my life. Yeah, they had this connection of their attitude and their character and their fun, whatever stuff they do. But I never saw them as an item. And up to this moment, I still, wait. Then at the finale, Brighto happened.
So up to the finale, you didn't even know there was a Brighto situation?
No.
With her?
No, I never did. Then I was just there looking at my
child.
And was it you I was telling about it? So it wasn't like I was pushing myself to him, as opposed to what you said. I was always pushing myself to him. I don't know who you had that conversation with. Maybe Nicole or Tricky. I was pushing myself. I can't do that. I'm too big for that. So Bright kissed my neck, and there were times he kept.
I said you were pushing yourself at him, or the person told me that you were pushing.
Let me finish.
Okay,
then
just checking.
Bright kissed my neck. Then there were times he would have, just from the onset, we actually had different conversations. And deep down, I wish we continued having those conversations. And I kind of wish he was my go-to person aside s3x. So that kiss on the neck to me was like, okay, this is your go-to person as at that time. So everybody was close to somebody. And that was a cue for me to be close to Bright. So yes, I agree. I got attached to him. Any little thing, I would laugh. And that's what I needed at that time in the house. And I even told s3x without him telling me or letting me know that this guy doesn't feel the same. Me off was you having a conversation with Lekon, and you guys going on and on about me being so pushy about the situation.
Who first? Who brought it
Let
up?
me finish. When
Okay.
I can't remember. I think it's Lekon.
Okay, I'm just checking because I
And
remember
Lekon,
vividly.
Loki, you kind of went on and on. I don't know if you were so interested about how I was laughing about
Because
Bright.
in as
I was
much as
thinking
I knew
about-
that you guys had this friendship where you would
let me
always
just quickly
laugh.
finish and that's it.
Okay, cool.
So now, what now really hurts me? So I wasn't the one that Lekon should have said those things about Lekon. I was actually hurt.
First, I did this BJ thing. Yes, new information.
It's new, man.
So I asked her, and she said we barely spoke, and she
Because we
left the
barely
bed.
spoke.
Exactly, because we spoke about that. She went to his bed, but she barely spoke, and she came back to her bed. But honestly, he says no. You laugh. He says yes. You laugh. He said and he was always.
If he doesn't feel the same way for me, I don't care. I'm in the house to be happy. And he did that for me. So to me, I felt like I was using him to be happy. And that was enough for me. Yes.
So were you using him or did you like him? That's what I want to know.
It was both. It was
Okay.
at first it was actually both. I don't know I don't know, I won't say I balance it or whatever. But I actually used him because everybody had a go-to person. So now Bright told Dorothy to stay on his bed. Came to tell me to stay on his bed. And I remember Dorothy we were passing by and Prince is like, hey, so my friend is leaving. And I think that night, Dorothy didn't even stay on Bright's bed. Now, Dorothy, and I appreciate what you did that night, came to call me that let's decide. And I'm like, okay, we had an amazing conversation. And I still feel it was an amazing conversation. And Dorothy is like, we conclude, no need to go into details, we conclude, stay on his bed. So now the issue now was this person saying this person saying that. Now the thing I did wrong was me saying she was fake, because this person saying one thing, this other person saying another thing. So I decided to believe Bright. So now till now I don't even know, because I've not heard from her what really happened that night. I don't know if they had sex, I don't know if they went to the toilet, I don't know if somebody asked someone they should go ahead and do something in another place in the house, I don't know. But all I know is I know what Bright said. And I saw evidence. Something actually happened in the bed. I had to change the sheets.
You were so cold. I felt like you were a vampire, to be honest. And I'm not trying to talk you down.
What really hurts me and what made me call her fake was because it looked like
Purpose. No, not on purpose. It was actually clear. Even a blind man.
What was clear? That you didn't like her?
That I wasn't. I don't have plans of having any relationship or
Okay.
going that deep.
So did you ever tell her that?
She asked me the first time, the second time,
And what did you say?
the third time.
what did I ask you?
That should say what's in my mind. Where is all this thing going to? That was what you asked me. No, that's what you asked me. Of course, it's obvious now. I didn't give her a definite answer. Do you understand? Because I don't want to say anything that would actually hurt her or hurt anybody. Do you understand? It might not be. What's it called? What feeling? It might be someone else, and I will still react the same way. Do you understand? Because I don't have any intention of going to a relationship, and that's just it.
Did you like Dorothy?
Of course, I like Dorothy. I like her, but not in that way. Okay, if she's actually if she feels bad about what I did.
She doesn't feel bad. She's just stating what happened.
Okay.
Was that
Right.
what?
Were you laughing like we're doing
Oh
jokes?
no, I get coconut head, so. And oh well. And then times where Prince would ask me what's going on, I'm like, I'm just there, literally, because that's actually me. I'm actually just there. And about what she said. Wow, you had to change the sheets. What did it look like?
You did. You finished one.
Okay, just saying.
So I answered the house. I'm like, continue.
I mean, no, that wasn't going to happen, obviously. I mean, that happened.
What happened?
I like that she admitted it. Yes, that happened. What she said happened.
Okay.
I gave him a And
Sorry.
I did mention to my friend at that time. And after, I think
You
something
didn't
happened.
mention to. Okay, you told him about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. And
You get into this mix first of all, and the moment she's talking about, we also need to address them. But how did you get into this?
I think it was at the time where I wanted to remove myself from the whole
Nengi and Ozo
situation, and I had just removed myself.
Okay.
And you know, Prince had the thing going with T-Baj, I think. So there was just, you know, me, and then there was, you know, Brights. There was Brights, and I think it started with filing nails, paint my toes. I don't know if it was.
Who was painting whose toes?
I was painting someone's toes, and he came and he was like, "Oh, paint my toes too."
Was that how the house dance? I don't remember any of this.
And you know, we started with a painted toes thing. What? And we started, please guys, and we started playing games, and I got comfortable with him.
Okay.
So I'm not going to have it, and I'm like, that's what I told you, because we barely even said anything to each other, to be honest, and I wasn't even lying about that. And after then, I moved on, and then I went ahead, I told Prince that I'm not even sure, after that happened, I'm not even sure that I'm feeling this guy like that. I think it's just infatuation. I think it's just a thing of the moment. And then after I had that conversation, it ended there. And he's here. From that day till now, I ain't never seen you before.
When you came out though, because you're on the finale, you also mentioned his name on stage.
Oh.
Ew.
That was me avoiding the Prince Tolani Nengi situation, to be honest. That was me not trying to, and I told him about it. That was me not trying to put myself in that situation, because they have been out, like they were out before me.
Yeah.
Because in my head, when I stepped down from that stage, I'm like, about what she said. Wow, you had to change the sheets. What did it look like?
You did. You finished one.
Okay, just saying.
So I answered the house. I'm like, continue.
What happened?
Okay.
I gave him a and because the next morning, and that's why I felt like he was a and the next morning I left his bed, and the next morning he didn't even check up on me. I'm like, I sucked your
I like this energy.
So what are you on about? And I'm like, okay, this guy is not, he's not even what he says he is. And I'm like, oh, Watoni, when I told you we barely spoke, we actually barely spoke. Because when I laid on his bed, and I think I slept off before he even came back. Yeah. And when he came back, that happened. I stood up from his bed and I went to my bed. Because I wasn't comfortable. Because I didn't feel like in place. And I went to my bed. And the next morning, after him being bright, he literally walked past me.
Veilish.
And I'm like, fixed their issues. Yeah. They're back together. So I looked at him. I'm like, because even during the final week, I remember that they all kept asking me, so tell us, who do you like, who do you like, who do you like?
So the Prince you were going to call?
Yeah, you did.
I was, exactly, and I think Nengi was like, it's Prince, I know it's Prince.
I was really surprised. Yeah, you saying Brighto.
I had to say that just to not be
was it Prince you were going to say?
Of course it was Prince I was going to say.
So Brighto was like the decoy. So you used him as well?
I don't want to be a bad person. I don't with you, but I don't want to be a bad person. I feel like you were very cold in the house. Maybe if you weren't the kind of person you were, maybe I would have liked you and tried to make an advance. But you were so cold. I felt.
Okay, so let me wrap this up. You used him.
Yes, I did.
Dorothy, you used him.
I didn't say that before, but I changed my mind. I used you.
You used him. You don't feel bad.
Nobody.
End of story. Do you want to let me conclude then?
You established that
You're using yourself. You're using yourself. They are just. I don't know why.
That what?
Yes,
Who are
they're
you,
just
Bright? That what? Bright. Oh.
You guys are just.
It's your audacity for me.
It's simple.
Can you afford
So here's what I want to know.
No, I can't afford your bills.
In fact, wait. You need to take this for your tears because you're crying. Please give him one for me.
Sit down there.
He says he's in the house just for the game, and that he knows that I like him, but he can never, ever have anything to do with Katrina. And nobody does that to me. You don't speak low of me. Remember what happened? I pulled you to my bed, and I made sure it didn't happen in his bed. I pulled him to my bed, and and you know what happened? He didn't last 5 seconds. I left him in my bed, and I went over to the sitting room to chill.
Yeah. I beg.